Okay, I know this isn't ideal, but I have accidentally turned myself invisible. This guy just burst into my room and turned me invisible, and he said the only way I can become uninvisible is if you personally subscribe to this channel, like right now. If you'd like to do that, that would be really appreciated. But, oh, like that was pretty low, even for me. Morning all. So I'd identify myself as quite a creative person. I love film, I love making things, I like being as creative as possible with photography, film, bit of art here and there, and also music. Not a well-known fact about me, but I can play the piano, the bass, a little bit of guitar, sing a tiny bit, and I'm also a grade 4 at the bassoon, which is something that I'm not sure if I'm proud of. But yeah, I thought that it would be interesting for me to share my favourite songs that I've discovered this year. This isn't going to be ordered, by the way, this is just a list of 6 songs I really liked this year. Now the first one's quite an emotional one, and it will probably surprise you to hear, but it's Radiohead, How I Made My Millions. I found it while I was making Don't Vote Conservative back in June, and because of the extremely short time frame I had to make that video and the kind of like shock to the system of having to wake up every day and just work throughout the whole day and throughout most of the night until I was just so emotionally and physically exhausted that I found this song, and basically it made me cry for the first time in 2017. And I don't know, I just feel like I relate quite strongly to the song of looking back on your past and thinking of yourself as better back then and being a less efficient version of yourself now, which is something that I strongly relate to all the time. Anyway, moving on to a bit more of an upbeat song, Alison by Slowdive. Eugenie recommended me this and I just really love it. It's a rock song about a girl called Alison whose drug addiction is kind of taking over her life without her really realising it, and it's kind of a cry for help for her to kind of like wake up and listen to him and realise that she's getting out of control with her addiction. It's just really good. It's a good song. Number 3 on my list, and probably my favourite song of the year, The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess end credits music. It is an 11.5-minute masterpiece, probably because Twilight Princess is my favourite game, and you might not like it, you probably won't get as much from it as I do, but yeah, I really love it. The whole feel of the whole game, from its like uplifting Hyrule field theme and then its emotional That is probably my biggest recommendation, and quite a vivid memory I have is walking outside Buckingham Palace in London after being an extra in Jack and Dean's Nazi bar sketch. Excuse me! And it's got a really, really uplifting bit from 3:29 to 5:04. And I just remember walking around London, pacing it with just the biggest smile on my face, feeling so alive to be in a city that I one day want to live in, full of opportunities, and it was a really happy moment, like probably one of my happiest moments of this year. Number 4 on my list is possibly the most white middle-class British song I could choose, and it's The Lark Ascending by Ralph Vaughan Williams. This is a 13.5-minute piece written for a solo violin and accompanied by an entire orchestra, and it is honestly beautiful. It came out in 1914, so it was the second best thing to come out of that year, the first being, think of the subscribers, the First World War. And I'd say it's the perfect piece of music for seasonal change. It's right for that mood. If you're having a bit of seasonal change sadness like me, then yeah, it's good for that. It's my dad's favourite classical piece, and I'd say it's probably mine too. And 3 years ago for his 50th birthday, he paid Jeanne to play it on the violin in our back garden in front of my whole family. It was really nice. It was a bit embarrassing though, me and Jeanne weren't that close at the time, and I had to become a music stand for the occasion as it was a bit windy and they were falling off, and just had to hold the music there. Then the next song on my list is Cutting Ice to Snow live by, apologies, Efterklang. There's 2 versions of this song, the studio version and the live version, and honestly just reject the studio version, it's not that good. The live version with the whole National Danish Chamber Orchestra is just, it's sick. It's kind of got 3 parts. It starts off really like slow and fluid. It has more of a structure in the second part of having a beat and then instruments being added, and then it goes into the third part of the song at 4 minutes and 37. The band themselves take a backseat, and just the orchestra, and they just nail the communication between the different sections of the orchestra. Like the strings take a riff and the brass play a riff of dun 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 dun. Sounds better when they do it, and it's just perfect, and the percussion is continually getting louder and more dynamic until it just builds into this huge crescendo of an ending. Perfect 2 minutes of just fast-paced, energetic, orchestral, band, Danish. Who knew the Danish were so good at that? I didn't. And on to the final song on my list, and that is I Watched the Film, The Song Remains the Same by Sun Kill Moon. It's such a beautiful song. It's a 10.5-minute song that doesn't really change at all, and to me that's what makes it so beautiful. The whole song is just the lead of Sun Kill Moon, Mark Kozelek, just telling the story of how he got into music by watching the documentary on Led Zeppelin called The Song Remains the Same when he was young. And the last song of the line is him thanking the person who signed him on a record label back in 1992 for helping him along on this beautiful musical journey he was meant to be in. That line is just the perfect transition into the final 2 minutes of the song, which are just sublime. And recently in my life, quite a number of things have gone wrong, and this is just the song that I've been listening to throughout the entirety of it. Like I go on 2-3 hour long cycle rides, just aimlessly going around Bristol and exploring. This song's just on repeat the whole time. I fall asleep to this song. It's the song I listen to when I wake up. I know I'll listen to this song when I'm older, and it will be a time capsule for the moment I'm in my life right now. And the moment I'm in my life right now isn't great. And during this tough time in my life, I've done what I normally do, and that's kind of have a creative outlet. And this time that's been music. And I've written a short piano prelude, and I'd like to end the video by performing that for you. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to this channel. I'll try and make a new video soon. And yeah, I hope you enjoy 2 milliliters of Jeanne Lanvin.